Welcome. 2018 was a very memorable year and we had a lot of exciting things happen in and around the township. Here at Shelby this week, we were able to cover some pretty fun and unique stories. Let's take a look at some of the best of Shelby this week in 2018.
The newly built fire station number 5 added some color to their walls with the help of local high school students. Our Stacy Sansatera has more.
It's a brand new station, so when you have a brand new station, you're starting from scratch. So you want to try to make the station have as much character as possible, and that's something that we have to do from the inside.
Members of the Shelby Township Fire Department have been happy with the new fire station number 5, located on Shaner, south of 21 Mile Road. And like most everything else, there is always room for improvement. In this case, it was a big empty wall in the truck bay and the idea for a mural.
The idea from our mural actually came from our captain that runs out of the station, Matt Reaper. When the shifts were decided on which guys were going to be here, he kind of sat down with the guys throughout the idea, what do you think about having a mural?
And with that simple question, the ideas started rolling in.
We wanted a few things that we thought were really important for the mural. One was the American flag, another was a shamrock, some type of Maltese cross. Eric Carpenter was a firefighter who passed away back in 2009. He had a medical condition that kind of came up pretty quick. Doctors never saw it coming. Left behind 3 kids and a wife. After that incident, he was an Irish guy. And so they took the shamrock, incorporated his number, and that was kind of his memory piece that guys will carry and share with them throughout.
And with all these creative ideas and the desire to memorialize one of their own, the idea was brought to Utica High School.
I was extremely excited. I thought, okay, this is an amazing opportunity that I can have with the rest of our National Art Honor Society kids. I'm going to do something that I'm sure that they'll enjoy, and I took in all the considerations, like if they wanted the flag or the fire and the number, and I just created something that I knew that would work and easily flow in order for them to be happy and excited about it.
They presented us with a piece of art, and it looked amazing, and then it was just a matter of putting the paint on the wall.
And along with putting the paint on the wall, there was an unexpected lesson along the way.
It's just one of those things where, you know, everyone will see a fire truck driving down the road, lights, sirens, doesn't matter, they'll see an ambulance, and I don't think people really have an understanding of what we do or how we operate.
We learned a lot about their jobs and just the way that they do things, and it was really interesting because you're never inside of here, you just see them out on the street, so it was really nice to talk to them and learn about their lives, I guess, a little bit.
It was an outstanding experience, being able to see what they go through every day, being able to see how they do their job, how we have to do our job, you know, the differences between the two. And then it was just amazing working with a bunch of different creative other students, and it was just awesome.
And working with a bunch of creative students produced a mural that everyone could be proud of.
What the mural ended up turning out is you have a Maltese cross, and at the bottom of the Maltese cross, it starts the stem of the shamrock, and the shamrock turns into basically an American flag background. And in the center of the Maltese cross, you'll have number 5.
I really love the fire that's wrapping up around his number. I feel like it's very pretty. I love the warm colors. And
I feel that it's just an amazing thing that has happened to me in my life, because I know that the person who this mural was for worked very, very hard. Although that I didn't know him, I know that he was just an amazing person, and you know, we wanted this to be an amazing thing for him.
A fantastic way to remember an amazing man and fellow colleague that meant so much to our Shelby Township Fire Department. Kudos to the Utica High School National Arts Honor Society on a job well done. For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
More and more children every year are diagnosed with autism. Our April Morton visited one local rehabilitation office to see how they are helping people with the disorder.
Meet 28-year-old Andrew Williams.
Good afternoon, this is Andrew Williams from Quality Care Autism Rehabilitation Center. How may I help you?
Andrew is super excited about starting a new job here at Quality Care Rehab and Autism Center.
I am very excited, yes, and I'm very happy to be here.
You see, Andrew is not your typical office worker. In fact, he's quite extraordinary.
I have a high mild form of Asperger's, which is a high functioning, and so basically, you know, it's like when I was younger, young teenager, I had a hard time looking at people. You know, I was a little slower on things. I had a lot of physical problems, like low muscle tone and everything, but I worked through it also.
Working through it seems to keep Andrew very happy. Dr. Savage believes Andrew will be a great asset to the center.
And Andrew has a degree from Macomb Community College. He has a couple of different certificates, and sometimes he may have some social challenges, but we felt that he would do a really good job here.
Quality of life for Andrew, as well as others with autism, is very important to Dr. Savage and her staff here. They provide both speech and occupational therapy.
Both children and adults that have autism do have challenges typically with communication, verbal, nonverbal. Sometimes they may have sensory issues. For example, here at Quality Care, we have occupational therapists that will work with the children. That a lot of times you may see children who have autism that flap their hands or they're spinning in a circle, and that means that their sensory system needs to have some type of input.
In addition to having patients in the office, the therapists also do home visits.
One of the things that's different about our clinic than about a lot of other places is that we are very patient-centered and we're community-centered. You'll see different types of brushes that we use to help calm the nervous system so that then the child can then focus on whatever they'd like to do. And of course we have speech therapy.
Dr. Savage says it's not always easy for people to understand autism, so she gives a few tips.
To just take time and let the person process the information and be patient and wait for them to answer. Another tip may be to make sure that you are communicating with them as best as you can, and even though they may avoid eye contact, know that they can hear you. So if someone's looking away, don't take that opportunity to talk louder. Maybe you can repeat yourself, maybe a little slower. Just be patient and wait.
As for Andrew, well, a little patience for landing the perfect job really paid off.
It's very amazing. I never thought I would be here. You just never know what life throws at you.
For Shelby This Week, I'm April Morton.
What started off as a moment of weakness for Mackenzie's mom and dad turned into a very positive experience for the family. It's not every day that you get to go from Shelby Township, Michigan to Carnegie Hall in New York City. After winning a regional award for the photograph, Mackenzie was also notified in March her photo she snapped won a national award as well. The chances were very slim, but her photo gave a clear message of strength and love.
It's a huge deal for Mackenzie, one, because she's winning a top national honor, and this is like less than 1% of students, less than 0.5% of students actually get this award in the entire nation. So it's really a crown on her head and a point of pride for her. It's a point of pride for me and a point of pride for Utica High School as well and Utica Community Schools, because we're able to have a student that has performed so well on a national level for their artwork.
The picture is one of her mother Nancy and her father Patrick. It all started with an assignment from her art class, and the overwhelming experience of it all made Mackenzie's mom very emotional.
And she started crying, and I was like, oh gosh, and my dad picked her head up and kissed her, and I took one shot of that, and I was like, okay, if this picture came out, it's gonna be pretty good. My mom is so strong through this. She keeps our family strong because she's the one who's going through it. But usually when you see commercials or something of people with cancer, they're it's a sad commercial, but my mom should be on those commercials because she's really strong through it. And seeing her get upset about it, and then having my dad take her and show him the strength from him to her, that's what took my breath away, because I was like, whoa, these are my parents, this is actually a real life situation right now.
With a background in photography herself, Mackenzie's mom knew her daughter had a passion for it at an early age, and to her, the meaning behind this particular photo is very clear.
The love between her dad and I and my support. He and my girls are huge supporters, but my husband has been there for every visit, every tear, every smile, everything. So he is my rock. Never expected anything like that. She deserves it. She's a great kid, and her support at school has really been the key for us.
She really did a great job conveying it just in the picture. It says 1,000 words, and it's her life that she was going through. So I just think she's wonderful. I love her to pieces. I'm so happy for her.
With the many struggles the family has faced this last year and a half, Nancy knows her daughter has worked hard for this award, and she couldn't be happier.
I did something right. She just, and she, like the picture she took, she saw it and took it, and she just has the eye for photography. I mean, even more so than I ever thought I did. I see the things she's done and I'm like, whoa, you know, so very proud of her.
Through a unique bond made by one Utica High School student, a story has been told. Our Stacy Sansatera has more.
I am so grateful I was given the opportunity to hear Gretel's story and write it down for others to experience. She is a person that anyone would be blessed to meet, and I hope anyone who reads this is as inspired by her journey as I was.
This is the story of two seniors, generations apart, coming together and forming a special bond. And it all began with a senior project.
I wanted to do something that really made an impact to somebody, and so I contacted the Senior Center and I asked, is there anything, or do you have any suggestions for what I can do?
And with that, Mary was introduced to Gretel, and after a brief conversation, decided to turn her senior project into the biography of Gretel.
I mean, everybody has their own story, and everybody's life is interesting in a way. But then, of course, like Mary thought mine was special interest, I didn't think so.
And so, Gretel began to tell her story.
I was born in Yugoslavia, in a German village. When the Second World War started, then all these German villages were kind of, how you say, the Germans were all of a sudden enemies to the States.
Gretel was 7 years old at the start of World War II, and life as she knew it was about to change forever.
Because we were a German village, and after this, and when the Second World War started, and all that brainwashing from how bad the Germans are affected those people over there in Yugoslavia too.
Life quickly became desperate for Germans living in Yugoslavia.
Then our pastor wrote to the German government and said, our people cannot exist here anymore without protection. And then they sent to our village, they sent a whole bunch of soldiers. And we thought they came for protection. But one time then the pastor called the people together, mostly only the men actually, and said, okay, we're leaving tomorrow.
And after a quick evacuation, Gretel and her family found themselves at the first of many refugee camps.
From one day to the next, it was altogether different. Because in the village, in a refugee camp, you were not on your own. You had to stay, I mean, there were always 2 or 3 families in one room. Or we had to sleep on the floor somewhere, and it was just some straw or some stuff.
Gretel's family spent the next few years from 1942 to 1945 moving from one refugee camp to another.
The German country lost the war, and we were kind of had no citizenship anymore. We did not belong to Austria because we came from Yugoslavia. We did not belong to Yugoslavia because Yugoslavia pushed us out. So we were without citizenship.
And for a high school senior that has only read about this period in history books, Mary found herself learning a big life lesson while listening to the story of Gretel.
Until you really talk to somebody who was there, you don't really understand just how heartbreaking it is. I'm just so inspired by her story and hearing everything that she went through and how she's still so forgiving and so grateful. It makes me want to be more forgiving and more grateful for what I have. It really puts things into perspective.
Grateful for everything, including her family that came from near and far to see Mary present Gretel with her biography.
This is for you.
In addition, Mary surprised Gretel with a song she wrote documenting her life.
I never could have known it at first. Your story has changed my perspective. When things take a turn for the worst,
And through this special friendship that has shared so much, Mary has one hope for this project.
I hope that they realize just to be forgiving and that there's nothing that you can't overcome, because she went through all these things and she's here, she has this huge family, and I think that it's just so good for anyone to hear that, like, you'll get through it, you'll be okay.
And so, because she really does say it best, we will close this story with Gretel's own words.
People are people no matter where you go. God is more important to me than anything else. Then comes my husband, then comes my family. The rest falls into place, and how it goes, it goes.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
A family from Maryland wanted to show the Shelby Township Police Department some appreciation for all their hard work in our community. Here's Stacy Sansatera with the story.
And I was like, do you want to paint rocks and drop them around town? Yeah. Because it's with the whole purpose of spreading kindness, one rock at a time.
It all started with 2 painted rocks given to local sheriff's department in their home state of Maryland. And with that, Rocks for Leos was born.
We wanted something that would last, something that they could keep in the car with them, something they could take home and put on a shelf. Even some of them are small enough you can keep it in your pocket. So we thought, hey, let's try the rocks.
And so the Benson family started painting rocks for Leos, law enforcement officers.
My husband set up pages for me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and I just put the word out. I said, this is what we do. These are our rocks. This is how our family says thank you. Please tell me your local departments.
Almost immediately, people caught on to what this family was doing.
I did not expect it to get this big. We just wanted to show everyone in town that we appreciate them, that we're supporting them. We do not come from a blue family. Honestly, it's just because of what's happening, what's going on out there and what they're facing.
And what's happening is a family coming together, spending quality time in support of our men and women in blue. And the lesson is an important one.
I want them to be the change that's needed.
They're just like us, but really important.
So how did this family all the way in Maryland find our Shelby Township Police Department?
And they stumbled upon our social media presence, thanks to Officer Leslie Heisler. They decided that our department was going to be the one to receive the 1,000th rock.
Picking the recipient of the 1,000th rock was no joke to the chief because he recognized the thought behind this gesture.
We actually had a meeting to figure out who it would be, and Mark was one of the finalists, obviously, and I made the final decision. And I think what I took this rock as somebody that epitomizes professionalism, and that's why Mark was selected. Everything, I want you to have the card just to see the heartfelt card that they wrote, and like I said, it moved me, and I thought it was just very impressive that they would do this, and you're the person that we want to have that represent our department, our profession, and thank you, Mark, for everything you do around here. We appreciate it. So thank you.
It means a lot to me. You know, I thank the Benson family from Maryland for reaching out and doing this, and I'm very honored that the chief chose me to receive this rock, especially because there's so many other officers here that are deserving of this rock and show up to work every day that are very professional.
On behalf of the Shelby Township Police Department and the entire Shelby Township community, a big shout out to the Benson family for having such huge hearts.
That any family could care so much about us that's not a law enforcement family, you know, and especially them being out of state and to impact us up here, I thought it was pretty profound.
The story of Rocks for Leo is currently still being written because the Benson family has no plan to stop rocking police departments anytime soon.
I mean, it comes from the heart. Every rock is made with love, and yeah, we love it. We love that we can be able to do it.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
We all have our usual morning routines as we prepare to go into work. For one man, his morning includes walking along the side of the roadway and doing something which is helping keep the community clean. Robert Gambrell has the story.
When you litter, do you ever wonder how it hurts our environment? A local Shelby Township resident takes time out of his day to make sure our roads stay clean.
it's not too nice to be walking through a landfill, so I started picking up trash along the way. Started out by going up the sidewalk here along 22 Mile, and then realized that a lot of the trash was all coming from the vehicles and going in the drainage ditch. So then I had to kind of shift my thing. It's not quite as safe, but I'm walking closer to the road because I can at least get the trash before it goes into the ditch.
Tom has been a Shelby Township resident for 18 years and walks to work every day and picks up your trash along the way. And he says that most of the litter that he picks up are cigarette butts.
We have a lot of people that walk their pets and they're good at cleaning up after their pets. Now, if we could have a couple of the pets train their owners not to drop their cigarette butts all over the place, that would probably help as well. But I figure that's probably my most frequent item that I end up picking up.
Statistics show that 1 million birds die every year. The reason why? It's because your litter on the roads they mistake for food.
Because I'll see French fries and other things there, but I think just the speed of the vehicles is also getting some of the birds, because I've had quite a few that we end up picking up during the week there. But we'll get other wildlife, and if it's a larger animal, I'll call animal control to have them come by and pick it up.
When you see Tom along 22 Mile, don't hesitate to stop by and tell him thank you. And also, hopefully, this helps you to think twice before littering. I'm Robert Gambrell, Shelby This Week.
Summer may be almost over, but that doesn't mean the outdoor activities have to end anytime soon. Recently, myself, along with reporter Kyle Warzebach, visited a fun outdoor adventure right in our own backyard.
I'm joined alongside Tom from the Go Ape Treetop Adventure here at Stony Creek Metro Park. And Tom, Courtney and I just finished going on the zip lines and all the treetop stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Tell us about the experience that you had here so far since you guys opened last year.
Yeah, it's been great. I had a great turnout. We're right by Stony Creek Lake, so it's a beautiful setting, lots of oak forest. So come fall, all these leaves will be changing colors. So we've had quite a few thousand participants through the course, and we did over 7,000 our first season. We have state-of-the-art equipment that people really enjoy using. It keeps them nicely locked in and safe on the course, and there's a lot of fun to be had up in the trees.
When we were on the course, it was pretty challenging, like even for someone that's physically fit like me and Courtney. What can people expect when they come here?
I think that's just it, a good physical challenge. We want people to feel safe and be able to navigate the course safely and securely, which they're able to do, but we do want them to feel a sense of accomplishment at the end.
And overall, what do you want people to gain out of this experience at Go Ape?
So Go Ape gives you an opportunity to really test your limits, whether it be a fear of heights or, again, there's physical challenges. So we want people to be able to trust in themselves that much more, that they're able to accomplish things that they didn't know that they were able to do before they came out today.
And summer is almost over, but you guys remain open in the fall. How much longer are you guys open?
We'll go to the end of October, so we have lots of weekends up ahead. Again, these leaves are going to start changing colors here shortly, so it's by far the best time of year. The temperatures get into those nice low 70s and high 60s that really make it a fantastic adventure.
To book your adventure at Go Ape, go to goape.com and find the Michigan location. All 10 to 15-year-olds must be supervised by an adult, and be sure to wear closed shoes and a hair tie if necessary. For Shelby This Week, I'm Kyle Warzebach.
One local store celebrated a big milestone this year. Shelby TV's Kyle Warzebach takes us inside this family-run business.
100 years ago, Marcelin Bejnar, a Polish immigrant, came from humble beginnings and opened his own store in a thriving Hamtramck area.
Hamtramck at that time was a booming town, a lot of immigrants coming in, a huge population increase. He wound up establishing his first store in Michigan back then in 1918. He had at least 3 locations that I know of in Hamtramck before my dad moved out to Utica proper in 1952. He rented there for over a year and a half before he built this building here in Shelby, and we've been in this location since '54.
Now in its 4th generation, the Bejnar family still owns and operates Bejnar's Fine Furniture here in Shelby Township. However, they didn't always sell strictly furniture.
When my grandpa first started out, he was selling jewelry, religious articles, and music out of his backpack and then his first storefronts. Since my dad had bad eyesight, they soon got out of the jewelry business because of that and just was running music and appliances in Hamtramck. So then he added furniture, which he'd wanted to do for quite a while, since several of his friends were in the furniture business.
And the decision to sell furniture proved to be a good one, all because they remained competitive by sticking to their niche.
I think our niche is just in the quality products that we purchase. My husband is so good also in this generation to bring just unique pieces. We have a lot of really unique wood accent pieces that people come in and just fall for. You're getting that personalized service, which, sometimes today it's not that way. It's sometimes lacking.
But at the end of the day, it's all about reputation.
But I think you can ask just about anybody in this area that's been here a while what kind of reputation we have. And I think it's very good. I think it's because we earned it.
For more info on Baynar's fine furniture, head to baynars.com. For Shelby This Week, I'm Kyle Warzebach.
Thank you for joining us for the best of Shelby This Week. Stay with us in 2019 as we will continue to bring you the best content. Thanks for watching.